Hello there, internets. Me as always, Ryan, here from Tokyo, Japan. Alright, so if anyone didn't know, the Occupy movement is actually inspired some individuals in Japan to start their own little Occupy movement. It doesn't get a lot of attention. It's just now starting to catch on in the media, a few reports here and there. But so far it's kind of under the radar. So I did a few videos back, I believe, just lightly mentioning it. But I finally had a chance to actually go to where this is happening. And it's right down here where the all the central government buildings are at. So, I woke up, prepared myself, went down there. Not as a protester, mind you, but simply as an observer and as a reporter. So, it's a very small presence down there, but it depends on what they're doing. They have events and things like that where more people show up. So there's a core group down there, a small dedicated core group kind of holding it together. The actual campers. But in the evening the group grows a bit because, Japanese are big on maintaining their job. But anyways, I went down there to check this out. And it seems to be a bit different from what's going on in America with Occupy. And as we know, in the United States, a lot of the Occupy movement is compromised. I think we all know that. It's no secret, They have all these foundation groups and whatnot controlling it, and there's big corporate money behind some of it. But then there's also a lot of genuine people. But that's really not the case here in Tokyo. It seems that these people are doing this on their own. They don't seem to be getting a lot of funding. They don't seem to be compromised at all because they're very, very clear on their, demands. They're very clear about that. Oh, by the way, smoking. Sorry for not asking, But they're very clear about that. So when I went down there, as an observer, as a reporter, I went there to take notes and try to talk to people. I didn't really expect people to talk to me, actually. I thought I'd be brushed off. But surprisingly, they were open to speaking to a foreign media, which I was surprised by that. So, I walked around a bit, took a few photos, and this one lady, get my notes here, because I have to write some articles about this later, so I thought I'd do a video now to share for everyone here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, even Google Plus, wherever you see my video. So I talked to this one lady. She was very forward. She actually approached me. Her name was Miss Sonoko, I believe. Yeah, Sonoko. She was very open. Came right up to me. I asked her what my name is, what I was doing. I told her my name is Ryan. I'm an underground journalist here in Japan. I don't do it for money. Well, not at the moment. And she was very open and wanted to talk, answered all my questions. She's a great source of information to find out what's really going on here with the Occupy movement in Japan. So, a few things she told me. So, the day I went, which was actually earlier today, which you might see this video a couple of days after or whatever, but I'm doing this video basically the same day I went down there. She said it was day 59. So, they've been at this almost, effectively 2 months. Just now people are paying attention to them. They're camped outside METI. That's Japan's Ministry of Economy, industry, and technology, I believe. Yeah. They're the ones responsible for monitoring Fukushima. They're the ones responsible for getting Japan to talk about the TPP. Alright, so that's where they're camping out. That's where they're having their main sit-in. They're actually on the METI property. They're on government property. So it's a true occupy. She says they're there every day. They don't leave. And I asked her about demands. I was pretty keen to find out because, you know, occupying America is accused of having no clear direction. And she's one of the core members of this, so she was very quick to say, what we want is all nuclear power to be stopped in Japan. All nuclear technology to be stopped. All nuclear research for nuclear power to be stopped. They want a completely nuclear-free Japan. Their second demand is Japan to absolutely refuse to negotiate, talk about, or join the TPP. And this was confirmed by a couple other people who nodded their head to me and said, yeah, no TPP and no nuclear power. And it was general consensus. They were very clear. So they have very clear demands and very clear ideas what they want. Everything she told me was that they have people from all ages coming down. They've had several really large rallies. She said they've had one that was over 25,000. And I know that it reached over 60,000 down there. But the day I went, there were just the core members there. She's also mentioned to me, I asked her what type of problems they're having down there. And she said, every day security comes and quote unquote reminds them that they're breaking the law somehow. And they are ordered to leave every day. And every day they give the security the same answer. No, we're not leaving. We're occupying this spot. It's ours now. You want us to leave? Do what we say. And she says they get a smug look and the security kind of walks off. And they come by the next day, same thing. Usually they come in the morning to harass them. She said there's been absolutely zero violence, unlike what we see in America. They've had zero violence. It's been completely peaceful, and there's been absolutely nobody arrested. So you got that as a positive here going on in Tokyo. Asked her about any additional harassment. She said excuse me if I don't pronounce it exactly right, it's the Uyuku Dentai, which has two translations. One is extreme right wing, and the other one means fascist imperialist. So those people have shown up sometimes in the typical fashion with their blue vans, and they're waving the samurai naval, the Japanese naval flag, which you've seen me use as a background before, and harassing them, screaming at them, throwing around insults, calling them traitors, things like that. So aside from a few harsh words and a little harassment from security, they haven't had a lot of resistance. They've been allowed to do the thing, which is wonderful. She gave me a lot of paperwork, a lot of handouts. She was extremely friendly, extremely open. So Miss Sonoko was a true lady, a true classy Japanese lady, a bit on the older side. I imagine she was a housewife. So yeah, they have that. She spoke mostly of anti-nuclear things. And one of the things she said that was particularly noteworthy, she said that, you know, there's many options for power, for energy. Japan doesn't need nuclear power, she said. And I've been doing research on the internet, and I've, found so many options to provide more than enough energy for this country that's not nuclear, and wouldn't even depend on a whole lot of fossil fuel. They do a combo of green technology with fossil fuels like coal, even gas, if they could finally settle the deal with China. That's a whole other issue, by the way. The natural gas in the Sea of Japan, between China and Japan, a whole other issue. altogether, but I won't get into that now. But I spoke to another gentleman there as well. A monk. Yep, a Buddhist monk, not a Shinto monk. I don't think Shintoism was welcome to that area. But that Buddhist monk there, I believe his name was, that was his name on my second page of notes here. Ishibashi was his name. He was there doing songs, trance, and chants, and prayer for Japan, and offering his support. Claimed that he had visited America 5 times at Occupy Wall Street and interacted, exchanged notes and ideas. So he seems to be particularly educated on what's going on. He said this is something new and exciting for Japan. This type of protest is very uncommon to Japanese culture. He said Japan and US have almost the same problems with the protesters he spoke to. But he also said Japan's situation is very unique. He was particularly keen to talk about the TPP, Mr. Ishibashi. He said the TPP would turn Japan to a third world nation. He feels that Western nations, like the US, are invading Japan all over again with TPP. He claimed that Japan will lose control of its nation if TPP is approved and implemented in Japan. He feels it will completely destroy Japan politically, economically, socially, and even culturally. He was very strong about this. Now, if you don't know anything about monks, monks are typically leaders of communities, and they typically do speak up politically quite often. They're a bit different from a priest or a preacher. They take their message outside the pulpit and they actually get in with the community. And they don't preach, they do, which is typical of Buddhist mentality. You don't talk the talk, you just do it. You don't ask for any credit or ask to be famous for it. So don't be surprised by that. Yeah, he was big on TPP. Now let's quickly review TPP before I run out of time here. TPP is basically the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's a big free trade agreement. Now, Japan doesn't have any free trade agreement. They never have. Never been a country that participated. They've really resisted the NWO and have really resisted globalization successfully. But after this gentleman, Noda, Prime Minister Noda, was placed into power after Khan was ran out of town because he wanted to shut down nuclear power. And he was talking about green energy and all these options. The nuclear industry didn't like that. So smear campaign came up. And military industrialist complex supporter Khan was out. And this Noda guy came in. The first thing he did was say, we got to turn on all nuclear power back on. And we got to totally go with everything that was been resisted. And now he's got, in the next 4 days, he's expected to announce that Japan will join the TPP and will start negotiations to harmonize with several other countries in Asia. And several particularly influential Western nations, which of course include America. Now, you can imagine the patience I had to have with this, since I am an American. And whilst I support and believe a lot of things this guy was saying, I had to be impartial. So there's a challenge as a journalist there. But, these people are for real. They're not co-opted. Very clear to me when I was there. I was very keen to watch what was going on. They're not co-opted. They're not getting any funding from anybody. It's all coming from people walking on the street. They keep a little can out. You give anything you can. They say the minimum donation goes up every day they're there. So the minimum donation that day was 59. I gave 100 yen. Some people were giving a whole lot more than that. That's all I could really give. But that's what's going on here. That's the notes I got. Okay. Tonight I'll be organizing articles to print up about this. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please spread it around. Please like this video, comment, please subscribe, and get the word out for me, okay? Help me to help everybody else. Until next time, of course, this is me as Ryan, checking out.